morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony show with Carla Marie making it in just before the finish line.
We have an alcohol problem.
We have an
Well,
what? We do? I guess people have been saying that for a long time now.
no, I couldn't really find alcohol.
What? We have a whole what's it called? A case of it.
Wine.
Oh, a rack of it.
Most of that is wine, and we were not going to take a shot of Jameson.
Why is there so much wine?
So some of it is a case that I bought when I went to Napa with my parents, and I'm saving that.
Wasn't that like 6 years ago?
I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Like what?
I don't know.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not going to drink it with me.
No, I don't really like wine. I mean, I'll have some of it sometimes, but not the biggest fan.
So that's a lot of that. There's something there that's pink. Cote de France or something it says, and it's from my ex-boyfriend's mom who bought it for me as a graduation gift because it's apparently the same as the cool drink they have in Disney.
Okay.
That's 10 years old. I don't know if it's good or better or worse now.
I have no idea.
So we should try that next week.
This is really cool. Jill in the chat said, the baby I announced I was pregnant with here in the chat turns 1 on Saturday.
Ugh!
We're all growing together. We are all growing together. A couple things we're going to talk about real quick. I know we did.
Wait. We didn't introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
Thanks. Couple things we're going to talk about. I know we did get through Hype Train Level 5, so we will jump into taking whatever Carla Marie just brought up here. But the Pebble versus the Rock, it's something that Carla Marie brought up in the morning show podcast this morning that I think we need to discuss. Another situation at the gym that I can't believe was real.
I don't know this one. Right?
You don't. I don't think you do, at least. And then we haven't really talked about it. But the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial concluded. Closing statements were this past weekend.
But we don't have a vote yet.
A verdict. And then more reports have come out this weekend, and I feel like we've got to talk about it at some point. Okay, so we'll get into all of that. Of course, we do have Drag Queen Bingo tomorrow. We'll talk about that at the end. But if everyone can throw some shot glasses in the chat with your remotes, Carla Marie, even though we still have a minute left of the hype train.
Damn, guys.
We've got
to finalize May. We are taking a shot of, I don't know.
Oh, that's not good. I mean, what if it's water?
It's not.
Okay.
Because it was in something Seattle Cocktail Club had given us.
Ooh.
I smelled it, and I don't know. It might be vodka. It could be gin.
Oh.
But it was supposed to go.
I think it's.
But it was supposed to go with the pineapple thing. So
do we not have? Why is there no pineapple?
Because we're just gonna take a shot.
Why is all the rum gone?
What rum?
It's a Johnny Depp line from Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, so we're taking this mystery. I think it's gonna be gin, and I like gin actually. I realized I like gin drinks. I don't know if I like gin straight, which was probably my problem when I first started.
Because now I'm an expertise.
What?
The
demise of Carla Marie.
I realized that I know that texture. Vodka doesn't look like that, is what I learned. Anyway.
Vodka doesn't look like a clear drink?
I forgot I downloaded the video of you last week being so hyper, and I forgot to edit it, so I need to do that.
When was I hyper? Oh, I took another gummy this morning, by the way. We'll see what happens.
The video where you're like, how to get a good Anthony, 1 gummy, 2 wobble.
Yeah, those wobbles were so good, though. First time chat. I love this. First time chat from JPPC408 with a bunch of shot glasses.
Oh,
so let's move it along here.
Okay.
Tender Marie.
I don't know what that means.
It was supposed to like bartender Marie, but I wanted to shorten both.
I went
like
chicken.
No, tender, like a little chicken nugget.
I was chicken, also thinking, like love me tender.
That's what I was thinking, like Elvis, because I just saw the Elvis commercial late last night.
I thought you watched the movie without me.
No, it's not out yet, is it?
Yeah, it is.
The Elvis movie is out.
Theaters.
Oh.
I should take my mom. Mom, don't go see it without me.
3 blind demise.
Can you
Thank
explain?
you for the mailman.
So what? Mealman?
Mealman.
Delivering those meals all over.
I'm sure he does. At some point, because there's so many meal services.
Yeah, but
meal delivery services.
They don't go USPS. They're like overnight because they're in freezer dried things.
Fred the Mailman, have you ever delivered a meal? Therefore, we can call you Fred the Mealman. What?
Explain demise.
Oh, demise. So on Friday, we recorded My Day Friday, which, by the way, we do have a My Day Friday announcement coming up this week. So if you've ever listened to that podcast, maybe you've fallen off, maybe you just stopped because it stinks now. I don't know, whatever you think. We do have a big announcement about that podcast on Friday on the podcast. So make sure you listen to that. But Carla Marie was trying to say the word demise and said demise. And it only took me a couple seconds to realize what she had said. It's like, did you just say demise? And indeed, she did.
My words got really bad again. Like, they were doing so well.
Your words were doing well.
Yeah, they were getting better after COVID brain. Then, I don't know what happened these last few days. I called broccoli guacli and completely mixed up a word that, like, full word, replaced it with another full word, and I forget what it was.
By the way, Fred the Mailman said he has delivered meals, so he could be Fred the Mealman. And I'm sure he's cooked it at some point in his life as well.
Yeah.
He could be Fred the Mealman. All right. Let's see. Love My Day Friday. Thank you very much, Terry. Oh. So, the mystery shot.
It's a lot.
There's a lot in there.
Wait, do you have water?
I got nothing up here. We're just doing this, and we are going to enjoy ourselves.
I should go get a Spindrift.
Nope. That's it. This is your fault.
No, we should go get Spindrift.
I think we should just do the shot.
No, I think
and live with the consequences. Cheers.
I should go get a Spindrift.
Carla Marie, cheers to you. Cheers to everyone who, and listen to this.
No, I can't. I already felt it right here.
Okay. Well, run quick because I have something to say to everybody while you're gone. This is day 30 in a row of hitting the hype train, which is crazy to me that we went 30 straight days while hitting the hype train. That means you guys have supported every single stream for 30 days in a row, and we've really hit most of them for the past year. I think we maybe have missed like 4 total. So thank you very much for all the support. And now we got to wait till Carla Marie gets here. And those are the pearly gates behind me. Oh, wow, that was quick. What'd you get? Spindrift Blood Orange. All right, let's stop wasting time here, Carla Marie.
Okay.
Cheers to you, Carla Marie. Cheers to everyone who has supported for 30 straight streams. Think about that. 30 streams in a row. 10 weeks. Ooh. What is that? That's got to be gin. Because I feel like I had a flower. All right. Woo! Oh, wow, you spilled everywhere. That was so. Did you just run a marathon? What is wrong with you? Use your sleeve. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, man. All right. Whew. You good? Are we good?
I need a. Oh.
I feel like because we took straight shots of alcohol for a long time.
It's when you don't know what it is.
And I think we got really good at it, but because Seattle Cocktail Club has been providing us with such amazing cocktails for the past like month and a half or so.
I'm trying to find out what that was. I
feel like this hits harder than it ever has.
Oh.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's focus. Let's focus here.
I'm trying to find out what the mystery was.
Well, I don't think they want a shout out at this point.
No. Just the type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not going to.
So, over to the list of things that we are going to talk about today. Now, remember, and I should say remember, but there were a couple people who messaged me over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And because Carla Marie has become addicted to the Nintendo Switch, there were people that wanted us to play Mario Kart to start the show. And I think for Thursday, I will have that set up so that we can play on the stream.
How? Because that's too far from me.
Maybe we could put it on that screen. Okay. A little closer. We'll figure it out. Anyway, that is on the way. Hopefully on Thursday. We do have the Drag Queen Bingo stream tomorrow night. So don't forget if you did buy your kit, because I think we sold almost 100 kits.
Yeah, we'll talk about the official number tomorrow when we get it.
Mhm.
But if you ordered just your boards, meaning like not a whole kit, they went out in like envelopes, so they are taking a bit longer to get there.
And it was a holiday weekend as well.
Yeah, so if you haven't gotten them yet, just reach out so we can just stay on top of it
Yep.
and know what's going on. But they should get there today.
Next on the list, well, I guess first on the list, the pebble versus the rock. So, Carlimer, you've got to give us the basic facts of this story, because you talked about it in the morning show podcast.
Okay.
But then I want to open it up for debate.
Okay, so The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, has when did he was in the 90s or early 2000s? He was a wrestler.
God, I don't know. When did he debut? When did he debut?
It was the 90s because I was a kid when I was watching.
Okay.
So 90s. So he now has a daughter who is an adult. Her name is Alexandra, and she is joining the WWE. But her wrestling name, is Ava Raine. Boom, done, period. That's it. This is Ava Raine.
1996 he debuted.
Oh my God, what's he wearing? He actually looks like Moana.
A little bit.
Not Moana, but
Okay, continue.
what's his name? Moana? Demi?
Oh, what is his name? He's a
Demigod?
demigod. I'm sure someone will put it in the chat, but
So-
continue.
Anyway, The Rock's daughter is now a WWE wrestler, and she announced her name is Ava Raine, Raine, and people are pissed off.
Oh, his name was Maui.
Duh. People are pissed off that she is not like, I mean, the joke is the Pebble or whatever, but
That would never have been her name.
but like, what is she gonna make her like granite? Like, what do they want?
So here is the only reason, and if it was any other artist or any other wrestler, I don't know if I could have gotten behind it. But the idea that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, when he came out, he was Rocky Maivia, which was a nod to, because he was a third-generation wrestler.
Mhm.
His mom's side, his grandfather was High Chief Peter Maivia, and his dad was Rocky Johnson.
Okay.
So he went with Rocky Maivia as his name. That's how he then became The Rock.
Okay.
So I feel like just because he came in with that name and that was his introduction, I feel like it would have been cool to see her follow somehow with the
Listen,
fourth generation
I'm sure
thing.
that would be cool. Here's the thing. She doesn't have to do anything. Like, she's 20 years old. She doesn't have to go in.
No, she doesn't have to do anything.
And she made a really great point. I'm trying to find her exact Instagram. I don't even know. Twitter. But she said something along the lines of like, I'm not discrediting my family by not using their name.
Yes.
Like, everything my family accomplished is still amazing. Yeah. Just because I don't use the name doesn't mean, like, a name related to them doesn't mean anything. And then she said something like, even if I built my whole career around my dad's, you'd still give me crap.
Yeah, and she's going to get crap no matter what, especially because she is fourth generation, especially because her dad is such a big star. And Lenny brings up a good point on Young Rock, The Rock's sitcom. He mentioned he didn't even want to use the name Rocky Maivia, but he did. Whether or not he wanted to or not, he did.
Well, guess what? It's 2022 and people can make their own decisions.
They can.
Flex Kavana was the name he wanted. I'm kind of glad he wanted.
You know, I actually brought it from my parents' house. I have The Rock's autobiography.
Where?
Downstairs. I have The Rock's You know what? I've never shown this picture before, and I finally found it. I talked about the picture for a long time. Give me a second.
Wait, her name is Simone Johnson. You think Alexandra's her wrestling name? Oh, Simone Alexandra Johnson. Sorry, I said it backwards. Alexandra's her middle name. Ava Raine is her wrestling name. And then The Rock has two little daughters, I believe, after her. They're like toddler age. I'm looking. It's crazy that The Rock has a 20-year-old daughter. Let's see. Yeah, her Instagram is Simone G. Johnson. Is Tone dressed up? Might be Little Tone dressed up as The Rock. But yeah, there were people on. Whoa, marijuana! Thank you. Oh my God, can you buzz, since Anthony's not in here, just a line down his head next time we get his hair done? Just like, please. I'll give you all the money back that you've paid in subs. Where's Anthony? He just went to go get some surprise for everybody. I don't know what's going on. It banned whatever Fred the Mailman said, but he said, beat my ass. So I'm going to let that through. Thank you. Okay, so marijuana is Anthony's barber, and he's going to... What? Oh, marijuana gifted all those subs.
Okay, what happened that you're the like
I asked him to buzz a line down the middle of your hand next time. I said I'll give him back all the money he ever spent on subs.
I'm going tomorrow, so
okay.
We'll see if he does
well,
it.
If he sneezes,
I don't think that's gonna happen. So you're right.
Yeah, that'd be so
okay.
fun.
So we were talking about The Rock, and you may not know this, but The Rock had a book called "The Rock Says: The Most Electrifying Man in Sports Entertainment."
Yeah.
Written by The Rock and Joe Layden. This is the book. Look at that man. Look at the back of the book.
His eyebrows were as thin as mine.
So, the reason I brought this, though, and this was back when it was the WWF.
Scan that baby in.
So, this picture, I knew it existed for the longest time, and I had never been able to find it. Hold on, nope. That fake belt possessing dweeb.
Careful.
What?
It's wet here.
Is little baby Anthony. And that is at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey. No, you're not posting this.
No. I swear to God, I'm not going to post it. I'm scanning. No, Google scanning it so you can easily show it on the screen.
Isn't there going to be like a reflection from the light on there?
Nope.
You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay.
You don't know about these Google apps. I'm clearly not a Google person.
But I found like my most rock-ish shirt. Because he went into like a thing where he was wearing just like these real cheesy Italian shirts.
I think I hate young Anthony.
And I had a fake wrestling belt. And I went to this signing, and The Rock signed this book.
Damn.
Look at that.
Didn't he also tweet you once that he needed to send you some tequila?
He does. He owes me some tequila. He does owe me some tequila because a couple of years ago when the first Jumanji movie came out, I took my whole family. Carla Marie actually came as well. And did your family didn't come that year, right?
My family never came. They
Never?
refused. They're like,
Didn't one of your nieces come
gonna
once?
make me come to a movie on Christmas?
Didn't one of your nieces come on? Okay. And,
no, that was Six Flags. We went as a family.
Okay.
But that was 2015. We still
Yeah.
worked at Elvis's show.
Why'd you scroll all the way up?
Oh, there was something I wanted to read. Go back. I still had it highlighted. Okay. Daisy from Pineville said, Garth Brooks' daughter, Allie Colleen, who is also a singer, just like her father, does not use his name. They're their own person, so they should have their own choice.
Also, and Rob Schneider's daughter.
Here's the thing.
Elle King.
It would actually, at least for someone like them, it would make their lives easier to use their dad's names. But in her situation, maybe not as much because she's already got the platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
WWE. But it's interesting that it's females. I wonder if they're like, nah.
And listen, with Garth Brooks' daughter, I'm sure it's different for musical artists. I just feel like with wrestling, it's kind of a tradition too.
But
because there are so many.
You were the first person to be like, tradition is stupid.
I'm not the first person to say that or ever. I'm not. I don't think all traditions are stupid.
Tradition.
No.
It's just like we're gonna do it like it's always done.
No, the reason I bring that up is not because I think just because it's tradition it should be done. What I'm saying is it's not seen as a negative in wrestling, right? Because wrestlers have had so many multi-generation
here's the thing.
athletes.
We don't know her storyline because wrestling isn't real.
Mhm.
So they may, be like, oh, this is Ava Raine and everyone hates her because she's The Rock's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know yet.
Yeah, Nick Cage instead of Nick Coppola.
Well, I think that's partially like I needed a cool celebrity name.
I think his dad's name would have been a pretty cool celebrity name.
Yeah, but I don't know his dad.
His dad is the one who made The Godfather, right?
All I know is I worked with his brother.
But also the other thing, let's see. It's also not their choice. So this is Marijuana saying this. It's also not their choice. WWE names are Vince's decision.
I can't even with
and
this man.
That was another thing that I was reading about this whole debate about The Rock's daughter is if she was able to use something that tied her to her dad, the WWE may not have been able to own that name. And the WWE wants to own every single thing that their wrestlers do.
So she could have been like Ava Rock, and they were like, "No, you can't be." Ava
Because
Rock.
they want to make sure that all the marketing goes funnels directly through them.
I bet you anything with The Rock tied to wrestling. Well, does he own The Rock or does WWE own The Rock?
I mean, he uses it a lot, like Project Rock with.
Because you probably
with
can't
Under Armour.
trademark Rock.
Just the word rock? No, probably not. Francis Ford Coppola is his uncle, according to the Googles. I thought it was his dad.
Listen, we've told this story before, but I think it's so good to tell it.
Go for it.
We were at a Christmas party. 2013, 2012, I don't know. One of my first Christmas parties for Z100 iHeart Media New York City. And I'm there at night. We were at Hudson Terrace in New York City. And I'm with Anthony, and I lean over to him, and I'm like, hey, how crazy. That guy looks so much like Nicolas Cage. And Anthony's like, it's his brother. And I'm like, shut up, idiot. There's no way. And he's like, it's his brother. His brother works for Q1043, one of our Z100 sister stations. I'm like, no, it's not. No joke. What's his last name? I mean, first name.
Mark Coppola.
Mark Coppola.
Yeah.
Works for Q1043, and he is Nicolas Cage's brother. It was bizarre.
So I guess both of their uncles are. So I thought it was their dad, but Francis Ford Coppola is their uncle, not dad.
See? Okay. I sent you an email.
Let's see. Jess from Minnesota said The Rock owns the rights to the trademark. WWE used to own them, though. What'd you send? Whoa, what you doing over there?
Going through your email. What do we got in there? Oh, a lot of emails from Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
See, look.
The picture's okay. I'll try to do a better job of it.
You can't do a better job than Google Scan. And you know what? I'm saying that. As an iPhone user, you can crop out that bottom, but no, whatever. It's the best app. It's free, and it lets you scan old photos right on your phone, and it looks like you like scan them in using a scanner. It's great.
Let's see. I'll put that picture
Scan.
right up on the screen. I think I got to post that onto the Instagrams. What do you think?
I was telling Anthony yesterday, you should, that like that would be like me having a daughter and her going into radio and feeling like she had to use the name Carla Marie or something. And you said, no, her punishment would be.
Yeah, that's just embarrassing that she would have to.
But I guess it would be like a Marie.
Yeah, probably.
Though I have said over and over again to my family, there is no rule that I have to name any child Marie.
Can we just look at how red my lips are in that picture?
Your lips are always red.
They're like super, super duper red.
Where's the actual?
It's in the book.
Can the people see this?
Yeah, it's on the screen. Super duper red.
So those are your friends around you or what?
Yeah. Yeah, I went with the guy in the blue Brahma Bull shirt and the guy in the corner with, I think, the Cowboys jacket on. I went to...
Who took the photo?
A fourth person, I guess, that was there.
Wait,
I think my cousin Alex may have been there with us.
Like, did you think you were so cool doing that?
No, I went there. It was like...
It's the pebble.
I went there understanding that I was being like a huge loser doing this, but I wanted to have fun.
Did The Rock definitely hate you? Hated.
I don't know. I got to meet him later on.
Look at this little jabroni.
He probably did say that. Let me pull that picture up again because the guy in the Brahma Bull shirt, that blue bull. So I think I've told this story a bunch of times, but when I got arrested at King of the Ring, which was being done at...
Were you wearing that outfit?
No, but he was with me.
Okay.
And it was Izod Arena or Continental Airlines Arena at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at King of the Ring, and I ran down at the end. Now, the pay-per-view was over technically, but like Kurt Angle was still walking up the ramp. And
keep in mind, this is in New Jersey. It's like, for Seattle people, it's like our Key Arena or whatever. It's in like the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Center thing.
It used to be where the Nets and the Devils played back in the day. And Seton Hall, actually. That's where I graduated from. So I walked down because originally they had these padded embroidered seats for King of the Ring, and we wanted to take one, but they were all like zip tied together. But since I got down there, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if I could jump into the ring and grab a quick picture. I don't know why I thought this was like a thing I could get away with.
Could you imagine doing it now? I'd be so afraid to get killed.
I remember one of the guys that we were with, I told, there's a picture of this somewhere. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to run into the ring. Just grab a picture real quick.
How far were you from the ring?
At this point, no, I was right there.
Oh.
Of the ring. Did I say rink? Ring. Because the first like 10 or 15 rows are where you get those embroidered seats. Like Coaster Boy Josh has one from one of the pay-per-views he went to. And I got close to like that big black padded wall and looked around, looked left, or looked right, looked left, jumped over.
Did you get in the ring?
And you've definitely heard this story.
I don't remember how it ends. This is exciting.
And I do remember someone kind of grabbing me from behind, and I like whacked their arm off.
Did you touch the ropes?
And I got the bottom rope, and I got the ring, and I'm pulling myself in. And all of a sudden, my legs just went right out from under me.
You know what sucks is that, like, if this were today, there'd be security footage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. There would have been everything footage.
But I bet you that footage got imploded when they imploded the arena.
Is it gone now?
It's been gone, bitch.
Oh. So, next thing I know, I'm halfway in the ring, and my legs get taken out from under me. Next thing I know, there's like, no joke, 8 security guards and massive men. Keep in mind, I was that size, basically. I was in my junior year of high school. I was probably 140, 150 pounds.
Are you sure? Because the guy in that photo looks like he's 110.
Well, that was freshman year, I believe. I grew a little bit, thankfully.
I don't believe it.
But I was I would say 160 max. That was like the heaviest I ever was in high school. And these guys pummeled me. And I just remember being down there like, all right. I'm done. Did
you have the belt?
No.
Oh.
And they took me back to like their security room at Continental Airlines Arena.
Were they interrogating you?
No, they wanted my ID, but I was 16, so I didn't have ID.
Where I would truly pay so much money for footage of you being like, I don't have my ID. I'm so sorry.
I think I handled it pretty well. I was very respectful.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, you were probably the tough guy, and then once you got back there, like, you were a tough guy trying to run into the ring.
I wasn't tough. I was an idiot trying to run into the ring.
And then back there, you were like, I'm so sorry, mister.
I didn't do that. I was very polite. But I do remember that my mom and my dad, so they each had cell phones at the time, but like cell service was terrible.
Yeah.
And legitimately,
you had to beep them first.
Legitimately, at that time, there was like a 2-week span where our home phone was just gone, like didn't work. And they're like, well, you got to call your parents to pick you up. And I was like, guys,
I don't have any.
I was like, I wish I could. I was like, but our home phone line is down and we don't have cell service at where I live. And they didn't believe me, and they made me call like 13 times. Eventually, I called my cousin Alex to pick me up. And, I mean, my parents weren't happy with me, but it wasn't like the worst thing in the world.
Did you get grounded? Did you get grounded?
I don't think so.
Like, if I found out that my kid did that, they would. I don't care. They'd get their ass beat first.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to jail, whatever you do to parents nowadays. Then they'd get their phone taken away, and they'd be locked in their bedroom. I'd give them food under the door.
Yeah, like my brother Michael said in the chat, our parents really didn't do grounding. I was grounded like once that I could think of.
Oh my God,
We also got smacked up though. So
yeah, same. I'm gonna make a statement in a second, but your brother Michael also said you were then banned from Continental Airlines Arena, where you also graduated from.
Yes. So the way that story ends, I do remember sitting in their office because I was there for like an hour and a half, and I didn't have a cell phone at the time. So like my friends had to leave because their mom came to pick them up. They had no idea where I was. Yeah. They thought I was like legitimately arrested. And had I jumped into the ring during the actual event, I would have formally been arrested. Like it would have been a way worse scenario for me. Yeah. But because I did it at the end, it wasn't that bad. I do remember sitting in their office and they had one of those signs up that was like, we've gone so-and-so days without an incident. And I remember like kind of looking at it and reading it. And then one of the security guards looked at me and goes, yeah, we're going to have to erase that now. And it was like 77 days without an incident. And I also remember when they were walking me back, they had me like by my collar, right? Like this. Like one of the huge security guards had me like this. And
they should have had a wrestler pick you up.
That guy, no joke, was at least double my weight, right? I was maybe 160 pounds. That guy was 300 plus, just massive human.
You were like Eric Shea the cat in human form, just causing a ruckus, ruining everyone's day.
Then I remember asking him as we were in an elevator, and he's like holding my shirt collar like this. I was probably wearing a D-Generation X Suck It jersey. And I remember looking up at the man and be like, hey man, I promise I'm not going to like run or anything. Do you think you could just like loosen up your grip? He goes, shut up. And I was like, okay.
That was probably his wrestling moment. Did you get a photo?
I don't know. There is a photo somewhere. It's not in my possession.
Has it been developed yet?
Someone has developed it.
It was like one of those things, because didn't Walgreens, like when you develop photos, weren't they allowed to keep some of them if they were illegal?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Like
that sounds weird.
The craziest thing is that like my dad took photos of me being born outside, like literally my head is coming out of my mouth.
And someone had to develop that.
And someone had to develop
That's
that.
gross.
A 16-year-old working at a photo place.
And the way that it ended though was I got to be picked up by my cousin Alex, and I had to like sign a piece of paper that banned me from the entire Meadowlands complex,
Did
which
you
would
have
have
a
been
signature yet?
Giant Stadium. There's like the fairgrounds,
Meadowlands racetrack.
Yeah, the racetrack. I was 16. I wasn't going to the racetrack anyway. And Continental. Technically, I'm still not allowed at the Meadowlands.
Okay, but what else? Like everything else has been knocked down and
That's
rebuilt.
True.
So you've got MetLife Stadium.
No, but I wasn't banned from those arenas specifically. I was banned from the entire Meadowlands complex.
But does that? I don't think that group exists anymore.
Oh, well, then I'm fine.
NJISEA. That's what my parents used to work for. Let's see.
But technically, I was supposed to like write a letter or something to like the president of the Meadowlands. I never did that. Ended up graduating Seton Hall from there, and basically because they couldn't take my picture or anything because I was still a minor, what it really turned into was if I got in trouble again and arrested, detained in some fashion, my name would have been on the list, and that would have been trespassing. So but I've been there many times since.
Yeah, you can go to the Meadowlands
like
Fair.
Bamboozle, I used to go to all the time. Giants games.
Next time we go, I'm gonna tell them.
Go for it.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch you get arrested for jumping in the ring at 16. Finally.
Go for it.
Or how old were you? 16?
I think
a freshman, sophomore in high school. Where were
I think I was. I think it might have been the end of my sophomore year. Yeah, because it was right after my birthday.
So 16.
Yeah, or right around my birthday. So I was 15, 16, right on the cusp.
What I was going to say about grounding is that being grounded is truly, and I like, it's funny when I say it, but I mean it. Being grounded in 7th grade is what shaped me for the rest of my life.
How long were you grounded?
Like 2 months.
For what?
People would call the house, and my mom would be like, nope, you can talk to her in school tomorrow. Click.
What were you grounded for?
I got a 69, so a D. It was a D, but a 69, 1 point away in math for 1 marking period. I lost my baseball bat that my godfather bought me. It was $180, softball bat. They were like, do you know how much $180 is? And you lost it. You just like, it was a good bat. Never got it back. And my cheerleading turtleneck bodysuit went missing. I don't know where. I lost it somewhere
else. Do you ever get, when you lose something, your parents go, well, where did you lose it? And you go,
I left it at practice. And my bodysuit went missing. So I'm 13 years old. Shit's everywhere. I don't care about anything. I'm losing everything.
Nothing's changed.
And they were like, you're done. You're grounded. You can't go out. You come home immediately after school. Oh, you have a group project? Everyone has to come here work on it. You can't go to anyone's house. And every time someone called, nope, can't come to the phone. She's grounded. Boom.
Wow. And no cell phones at the time, right?
Nope. And that was it. My grades were great after that. I never did bad again, any grades. I kept a hold of all of my stuff. And I was never, I don't think ever grounded again until I got drunk and threw up. But that was another story.
Yeah, that's the only time I really got grounded. And it wasn't even an official grounding. It wasn't like I got drunk. So it was my junior year towards the end of it. And I was like badly drunk. Like my parents found me on our back porch, basically. Like,
and what'd they do?
They didn't really have to do much because I was so disappointed in myself and I was so embarrassed. So I woke up I was like hungover, throwing up the next day, all that good stuff. And my parents were very like calm about the whole thing. At least I guess they were panicking that night when I was like unconscious on the back porch.
You're like, what do you do?
But they didn't really like scream at me or anything like that. It was more like, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel like garbage. And they're like, just remember that. And the next weekend, my friend Danny called me to go out somewhere. Like, I don't know, play Manhunt, which is tag for
oh my God, can we play Manhunt?
Kids.
Let's do an EMH Manhunt.
And I remember saying to my mom, I was like, oh, Mom, Danny called. They wants me to go play Manhunt at his house. And she just looked at me and she was just like, you know you're not going anywhere, right? And I said, oh, okay. And I called Danny back and I said, hey, man, I really can't go. Okay, that was it. And it's weird, though, because I don't remember when
there was no rule.
It ended. It was just like, no, you're not going out today.
That's fair.
And I think it happened maybe
it's
one other time.
It's better that, like, you thought you were going and they were like, nope.
Yeah.
Your brother
Snatched.
Michael said, I didn't get grounded, but once I had to clean kitchen tiles with a toothbrush.
Oh, I've done that, yeah. I did it at my Aunt Nuha's house.
I like that idea.
I annoyed her so much. And this is when I was like kind of living in her house because I was a bad student.
That's why you love to clean.
And no, I hated it. But she made me clean the entire kitchen floor with a toothbrush.
Yeah, I'd rather
every grout. Just.
Although now I would be like, just someone lock me in a room and let me do that, please.
What else?
I remember the first time I got drunk I was 15, and it was a Saturday night. Sunday happened to be Mother's Day, and I didn't throw. Actually, I take that back. I didn't throw up. Crazy. My friend Nicole was throwing up, and her mom called my mom and was like, Nicole's throwing up. I think they got drunk last night, blah, blah, blah. And my mom, whatever, realized I was drunk. And then that whole day, we're at Mother's Day brunch. She's like, you realize you ruined my day, right? And I'm like, crying and hungover. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's like, I am so disappointed in you. And I'm like, I don't even think I was grounded. It was
she
just
can only see you now.
The mental.
She'd be
drinking random things.
Even more disappointed. Moving on, though, to the next thing, because there's two more things I want to get to before we call it quits for the day. What, Carly?
Wait, it's Meg, not Megan. I was grounded once in my life. I was 22 and got shit-faced off 50-cent beers in the city. I was hungover all weekend. Also, my dad made I made my dad pick me up in the middle of the night. You were 22 and got grounded?
That's intense. But you know what? If that was the only time you got grounded.
Did you mean to say 12?
But if that's the only time you got grounded.
Ground me now.
Then you know what? It was a long time coming, probably. Yeah. Two things I want to talk about. One is, not surprisingly, another ridiculous thing that I saw at the gym. And I think it was last week when I talked about how I walked out of the gym into a high-speed chase, essentially.
Yes.
Well, on foot. But, and the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard thing. Real, and it's not even the whole case we're talking about. It's like what happened since then over the weekend. So I was at the gym. I believe this was, what is today? Today's Tuesday, so this must have been Sunday. I'm at the gym Sunday, and it's actually like not that busy. It's starting to clear out. And I'm in the section with some of the free weights by where there's like the barbell curl and stuff. And I see this guy kind of pacing around who I've never seen at the gym before. And I've gone there now for 6 years. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen every regular a good amount.
Okay.
All right. So this guy who I've never seen before is walking around, pretty fit guy, right? And he's working out the whole time he's like in my vicinity. And as I start to do one of my exercises, I look up and I think he's not doing what I think he's about to do. Please, God, tell me he's not doing what I think he's about to do.
What?
And I see him do this thing. He's getting his shirt ready. Rips off his shirt.
Wait, ripped it?
Not ripped, like pulls off his shirt.
Okay.
Whips off his shirt, if we will. Just right off. And he's standing there in the regular gym. It's an LA Fitness. Like, this isn't some, like, meathead haven. This isn't, like, Gold's Gym in Venice Beach. You know? This is LA Fitness in Ballard. Like, it couldn't be an uglier name, too. LA Fitness in Ballard. And this guy has his shirt off. And not only, and he's like, listen, you want to check yourself out? Check yourself out. Everyone's done it. But he's checked himself out. Then he whips off his shirt. And now he starts doing, like,
but how else
poses.
See? Maybe he doesn't have mirrors at home.
Like full on, like.
Adonis.
Yeah, like, like competition poses.
Then he has to practice.
Here's the thing.
I would have been.
And I'm
like giggling.
And I feel like, because I looked up a couple times and I feel like he looked back at me almost like what are you looking at? And I'm like, you don't look at me like that. You are a grown man, grown adult man, walking around here, shirtless, nips out and everything.
Question.
Yes.
Was he bigger than you?
In very good shape.
No, that does not.
Bigger? I don't.
Because that's how men judge things.
He was more in shape than I was.
So you were jealous.
No, I mean, listen.
He thought you were jealous.
I don't know.
He was like, take yours off and come stand next to me.
No, I don't think that's what he wanted. And he would have, if there was like a show off, right? if there was a show off, if there was like a flex off, if you will, he would have won. Guy had great abs. Good for him. And you know what? More power to him for that. What?
Your brother Michael said, I don't know how to read this properly. He said his roommate was at the gym and a complete stranger came up to him and called him the P word for using the squat bar padding.
Called him a kitty cat?
You know what?
Gym's weird, man.
Right now, if I'm going to come to LA Fitness for Ballard, I'm not going to work out. I'm just going to walk around and I'm going to be like, you're an idiot. Stop doing that. You're bullying people. Why are you matching? Goodbye.
But it doesn't happen every day. That's the thing. You have to go as often as I go to make sure you're there for all the weird things.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I'm working out, I will sometimes go to my workout in a tank top.
Yeah.
But then I'll take the tank top off in the middle of my workout.
You'll take the tank top off.
And just work out in my sports bra and pants. But when I take my shirt off, are people thinking the same thing?
No, it's different because there's girls with sports bras on.
But it's the act of taking the shirt off, I think.
No, it wasn't the act of taking the shirt off. If that guy had a sports bra on, I'm like, more power to him. If that guy had another shirt on or a skinnier shirt of some sort, maybe a tighter shirt, I don't know. I'm like, all right, whatever, do your thing, man. The guy went full nips out. And here's the thing. It's not like in that moment he put the shirt back on and then continued about his day. He left with his shirt off. Like when he finally left my view, he still had his shirt off.
I'm surprised
on the whole other side.
Allowed to take because you're.
I'm also surprised that that's allowed.
Well,
but also
that's true. At Barry's, you've taken your shirt off.
I think Barry's is a little different. I really do. I don't know why.
But there's something about the act of seeing someone take their shirt off that makes you want to be like, woohoo! But that's not okay. So when you would take your shirt off at Barry's, I would like
I've taken my shirt off in yoga, hot yoga.
And I'd be woohoo, as a joke, right? When I see other people do it, my instant reflex is just to be like, woo! But I'm like, you can't do that to a stranger, Carla Marie.
Let's see. What else? Oh, and so I wanted to bring this part up too.
You should have held numbers up for him.
I understand. Listen, if he's in competition mode, right, and he wants to compete in some sort of bodybuilding, body composition competition, A, there's always the locker room to do that. B, I have seen people on the LA Fitness Instagram page. They'll go downstairs to the yoga room or the cycling room where there's really no one there. And they'll actually sit there and do real poses. And sometimes they'll have someone kind of coaching them through poses or helping them. And that's fine. I get it. But this guy wasn't even doing that. It wasn't like he was practicing poses. He was just doing the poses. And there's a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I don't know.
No. There's a difference between trying to hold a pose.
Me doing a high V and me being like, oh, okay, high V, adjust my wrists. Broken.
Yes, exactly. He wasn't critiquing himself or doing it to get better. He was just doing it for some weird psychopath reason. And I do feel like if you take and I've seen it on Instagram a lot where regular or not regular dudes, but weightlifting Instagram people.
Yeah.
Right? The really massive people will just be working out in regular ass gyms with their shirt off. And you can tell, if you could go on Instagram, you can tell an LA Fitness and a Planet Fitness from all the other gyms. I'm like, dude, you're at Planet Fitness in Staten Island. Put your shirt on.
Well, that's what Fred the Mailman said. He said, I'd love to see him do that at Planet Fitness.
But they do.
Question. Did you look around at anyone else during this moment?
Yes, absolutely. I was like, someone. So what? But it was still, it wasn't super crowded. I made eye contact with one or two people, and I saw some other people look at their friends like, what the is this guy doing?
And what?
That was it.
Corinne said, when I see guys at Planet Fitness go up to the mirrors in front of the weight rack and pose and take pictures for their Snapchat, biggest eye roll.
Yeah. But here's the thing. At least their nips aren't out.
You don't know that. She didn't say that. She didn't say with their nips in.
Nips in or nips out? Feel free to answer in the chat.
Fun fact, if you listen to the Serial Killers podcast, last week I was on an episode. And a week or two before, Corinne actually was on the episode doing Zoom with them sampling a cereal, but Scotty kept calling her Corinne.
Yeah, Scotty doesn't care. Scotty also, I think he's doing that as like a dad joke.
No, he didn't. No? So then, like, he mentioned her again, like 2 weeks later, and I texted him, and I was like, Scotty, the person you had on who was Corinne, her name is Corinne, not Corrine. He's like, I know. And I was like, well, what? And he was like being super grumpy in his text because that's what he does. And I was like, why are you in a grumpy mood? He's like, I don't know, I just am. It's Friday. And I was like, that's not an answer anyone ever gives. So
Corinne, by the way, said nips in the pictures.
Okay, good.
Well, that's another crazy thing when you think about it. Like, why was this guy able to whip his nips out, right, and just walk around the gym? If a girl did that, she would have been kicked out immediately, right? Like, if a girl was walking around,
nips, it's the boob.
If a girl was walking around nips out,
I'll be honest,
it'd be real weird.
Even in a sports bra, like listen. You can see nipples through like everything that I do. That's just how it's always been since I was like 13. I can't control it, whatever. But when I'm working out, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, people are definitely seeing the fact that my nipples are out and they're just staring at it.
Well, not
like,
out. They're
right. They're not out.
They're visible.
I guess.
Which I guess it sounds the same.
And I'm just like, oh my God, they're staring at them. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. They're nipples.
Let's see. There was this guy at LA Fitness who was going really hard on his workout and then proceeded to step out and smoke 2 cigarettes. And I felt like that was a waste of a workout. You know what? He's not working out for his lungs. He's working out for his muscles.
I'll never understand that.
There was keep in mind, I just told you about the guy who ripped his shirt off at the gym. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I told you about the fact that I walked out of the gym into a police chase. Okay. Still, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen at the gym was a guy. He was there for a while and then just like disappeared. But he would grab 2 like pretty light weights, like 5 or 10 pounds, and he would, no joke, walk around the gym just punching the air. And the only time he would put the weights down was to grab his Coca-Cola can that he brought with him. And it was just the wildest, like none of it made sense.
They're like,
and he would flail his arms so wildly in the gym where like you couldn't help but stare at him. Like there are some people who do, like I'm one of those people. I've done weird exercises where I'm like standing up on things.
Like I am convinced that there is no other gym in the world like this one.
You know what? You're probably right.
Corinne said, guys do the most inappropriate things to us at the gym. I had a man make eye contact, lick his lips, and head nod.
Okay, that's weird.
No.
I will say the other day, it wasn't at the gym. I forgot where I was, but I had chapped lips. I think it was at Safeway. And I did like a lick lip, right? I licked my lips.
Lip lick, not lick lip.
Yes, a lip lick. But then I accidentally made eye contact with a woman and I was like,
not wearing a mask makes you forget that people, yeah.
But it wasn't like a sensual, it wasn't like what's up, girl? It was like, oh, my lips are kind of chapped and I'm licking them. And I couldn't tell if she thought that I was licking my lips like,
ew, probably, because that Safeway, weird shit goes down there.
I don't know. I think it's really just this area of Seattle, weird things go down.
That specific
Good old
area.
Ballard. Good old Ballard. Let's see.
It's not. It's like that part of Ballard, like where the
bridge part. Ballard Bridge, that area.
Because it's Safeway. Then there's Fred Meyer, where we saw the milk get dumped on that girl's head.
Too.
Well, dump her own milk, and it's all like
she may have been pepper sprayed right before that.
There should be
it's unconfirmed.
She was definitely pepper sprayed. A reality show. That's where I almost saved that dog. I didn't even talk about it. There was me and some guy who worked for Xfinity. We're about to save some dog that was on the loose, and he had just gotten off his leash, and the owner found him. I literally pulled over my car and was like, gotta save a puppy.
Deborah Wilson said this needs to be a new segment on the show, What Happened to the Gym.
And here's a segment.
It ends up becoming one, I guess. The interesting thing is I try pretty hard. Like, I would never name anyone or, like, give any real descriptive facts about the people, because I want people to feel like there are people who go to the gym that listen to our podcast or listen to the morning show podcast or My Day Friday, maybe even come in here. And I wonder if people are like, don't do weird things about Anthony. He's going to talk about you.
Probably.
It hasn't stopped anyone from doing weird things around me, though. So
Claire and Olympia said, I wore my CMNA shirt to the gym yesterday. We need one that advertises the podcast or the show. We have talked about ones for the podcast.
I'm working on a private batch for me.
It'll have a big QR code on the back.
Because I just wanted to say the morning show podcast. And I'm going to be a walking billboard. And I think when we get those shirts, I'm going to do like an LA fitness tour in Washington. Like I'll go to one on Aurora, even though I don't like going there. And then you
can feature a new thing. You don't like going to Aurora or the LA Fitness on Aurora?
The LA Fitness on Aurora. Yeah.
Are there prostitutes at the gym?
I would like going there much more if there were. No, it's just I don't like the setup of it. And I've talked to other people who have gone to the LA Fitnesses around here, and they all agree with me. But there's a bunch of LA Fitnesses around here. So I could just go like
LA Fit and I.
Fit and I, yeah, a lot of Fit and I. Last thing before we get out of here, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. Now, the one thing I will say is
let's
I feel like TikTok
okay
very quickly took over the case.
It's not TikTok anymore. It's Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp talk. Like I opened TikTok for the first time. And it's not like this was the algorithm that I was given because this is what I was watching.
It took over.
The second I opened, it was the first 20 videos.
But even Twitch, when there were mornings, because this case went on for, it seems like 3 years, but the better part of a month, right?
Yeah.
And every morning that I would log on to go change our settings and do whatever I had to do on Twitch, there would be like 3 or 4 channels that just had a live stream of the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial. And all of them had like 16,000 viewers.
Crazy.
It was wild.
Okay,
and it was on YouTube as well.
Before we're going to talk about whatever we're going to talk about, let's say that neither of us obviously believe in domestic abuse against a partner. Clearly, the both of them. I think like this jury is going to be like, you're both fucked.
I think that, for me, that's what I took from it. Like, I think Johnny Depp played it as you would assume Johnny Depp. Like, he played it with this, like, weird, cool, kind of, like, arrogant thing.
I think he's just weird.
And maybe that's why the internet, like, is like, oh, Johnny Depp won this. And Amber Heard said some wild things, and it's been crazy.
It is also bizarre to see the internet not taking a woman's side in this.
But, and again, I just think both of them lose. Like, they never should have. And even there are text messages with their friends that are like, they never should. These two people should not be in the same universe as one another.
That I didn't fully read, but it was like, so what happens to their careers now?
So that was actually, surprisingly, I did listen to a full Joe Rogan podcast, and I say surprisingly, not because of Joe Rogan, because of the length of the podcast. It's 3 hours long.
Did you take any horse things?
No. And the reason I listened was our friend Chris DiStefano was a guest last week. Really great episode.
I've only seen the clips that Chris has posted.
And it's interesting because I guess Amber Heard's scenes in Aquaman 2 have been cut down. They've eliminated some of her scenes because of the trial.
But there's no. There's no proof of that. She's saying that's happening.
No, I thought that came out after the trial. Like the news.
Someone from the movie company testified and was like, "That's not why."
Okay, but yeah, they're both just toxic human beings, and someone should have separated them. They should have separated themselves from one another a long time ago, I think is the general consensus. But here's the crazy thing about the media, and say what you will about Amber Heard, and like my brother said, she may have actually perjured herself in court, which that's a pretty bad mistake. I think perjury carries a 5-year prison sentence.
Why? Because she admitted to.
Yeah, perjury is essentially lying in court after you take your oath, and if it can be proven that you lied, you're kind of screwed. And I want to say, someone can correct me if you want to feel like Googling it. What is the minimum sentence for perjury?
Could you imagine?
But the crazy thing is, 2 days ago, as I always try to like scour the internet for different things to talk about on the Morning Show podcast. And one of the entertainment stories I was thinking about doing was right after the trial, Johnny Depp was in London somewhere performing on a guitar, lead singer and he was doing some covers of some songs, and everyone's like, Johnny Depp takes the stage as a rock star, blah, blah, blah. Then this morning, I open up one of my news feeds again, and it's like, some victim, Amber Heard, seen partying after
that's
closing statements of
ridiculous.
her case. It's like, well, they both did the same thing. They both went out and said, well, our court case is over. We're going to let loose.
And you also can't say some victim, because for the rest of her life, she, like, first of all, what she's talking about happened years ago, not yesterday.
And it was just
frustrating.
That was the craziest thing to me, was seeing both of them doing the same exact thing, much like their actual court case. Mm-hmm. And how the public was just like, oh yeah, Johnny Depp's a rock star. He's so cool. It's like, oh, Amber Heard must be a crazy liar because she's enjoying her life still.
Like, none of us, well, some people may have, but I'd say most of us haven't gone through a court case like that, right?
No.
I'd imagine
I hope I never do.
While you're in the courtroom, you're miserable, right? Like, you're not excited, you're not having fun. And then you go out and party because you can separate these two parts of your lives and you understand the severity of being in a courtroom. Just because you're in a court case or in a courtroom about something that happened years ago doesn't mean you don't get to have fun and have friends.
Yeah. It was just a really weird headline comparison. And you can look it up yourself. Just look up Johnny Depp partying, Amber Heard partying, and it'll come up. The other thing, you know what? I did realize.
What I was going to say about, the thing, like, I think one of the funniest things for me, and I know it's not like a funny situation, was, have you seen where, like, all the people sitting in the courtroom, their phones start going off at the same time?
No, I haven't seen that.
And it's the judge goes, oh, it's an Amber Alert. And you see Amber Heard's attorney just be like, and he tries not to laugh.
That's
and I'm like,
funny.
How does she, like, I think I would die. I would die.
It's the most unfunny situation for a funny thing. Because Amber Alert is what, a kid being missing?
Yes.
What is an Amber Alert? That's the
a kid.
Right?
We got one yesterday.
So it's an Amber Alert. So there's a kid missing somewhere, and it's in a court case about
Amber
Heard. It's not the domestic violence case, right? This is a libel case or whatever, a defamation case. But still, like, you're talking about domestic violence and missing kids, and it's still just the cross section of everything coming to a head. It's kind of hilarious.
Well, no, yes. Not when you put it like that.
No, that moment is still funny.
Yeah.
And there was actually last night, I thought this was going to be a much funnier program, if you will, than I thought it was going to be. I was watching something on Netflix called The Hall. And I guess Netflix started their own comedy hall of fame.
Oh, cool. And
the first class of inductees, all dead comedians, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Joan Rivers, and not Norm Macdonald. I'm missing the fourth one. Also dead.
Well, Norm is dead.
Yeah, but he is not in there yet. This is going to bother me now. George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers. Someone's got to help me here.
I don't know dead comedians.
Anyway, you had a bunch of comedians inducting them, right? As they're introducing them. I thought it was going to be, Bob Saget. Wait, Bob Saget? Yes,
I think
Bob Saget. Thank you. Actually, no, Bob Saget was not on there.
Anthony, if this were me right now, you would be so annoyed.
So, Robin Williams, thank you very much. Whew.
How'd you forget the genie?
Huh?
How'd you forget the genie?
I don't know, and I love Robin Williams. But one of the things when Joan Rivers was being inducted was, I guess she had a quote that was like, listen, the world is terrible. If you can't laugh at it, you're going to have a real miserable time here. Or she basically said, if you can't find humor in everything, you're going to have a miserable time because the world is pretty shitty.
That's true.
And I think that is a prime example. The Amber Heard thing is like, all of the things that brought us to this moment are terrible. Absolutely terrible. But that moment itself, pretty damn funny.
I like
that people just start naming dead comedians.
I know. Like, what? If you're on that jury, right? Are you allowed to be on social media ever for that whole month? I couldn't. I would be swayed.
I don't know what they're supposed to do.
I'd be like, sorry, I went on TikTok and I can't do it.
When are we supposed to get an actual
answer
of a vote, like you said earlier?
A vote. Can you look up the video of
let's see. Jen said, no media on a jury.
No, but so is their phone taken away from them? Are they locked in a cell for a month? That's my question.
Yeah, like when do you get back to your regular life?
Because your phone isn't like...
Fred the Mailman said, Joan Rivers on Fashion Police was some of the funniest TV. I loved it. I've never watched it. I remember like it was on VH1 back in the day or E.
Wow. Fashion Police, I remember.
I remember seeing,
I know,
I knew about it. I never really watched
like,
it.
That's so mean.
Oh, man. All of the things that a lot of these comedians said wouldn't be said today necessarily. But Dave Chappelle had a great quote at the very end when he was talking about Richard Pryor. And he said, all these comedians who say you can't say anything anymore might have to take a look at themselves and realize they have nothing to say, because Richard Pryor is someone who said all the things you aren't supposed to say. And risked paying the price because there were only like 3 outlets at the time. Mm-hmm. And it was just, it's not as funny as it should be for a whole thing about comedians. But I guess they're all dead, so it's a little harder to do that. But it was pretty good watch.
Court in Spokane said, unless it's a sequestered jury, which is pretty rare, I think it's all in the honor system.
Pretty what?
Rare.
You said where?
I think it's all in the honor system. So.
Let's see.
Then, like if I was on jury for a Scranton Strangler.
Yeah. What?
Like, I would go into work, and then people would be like, oh.
Well, no, don't you get paid like $6 to not go to work?
Yeah, but when you do have to go to work or whatever, like my mom would call me and be like, oh, did you see this on the news?
Yeah.
And we live in a world today where like you don't have to seek out the news. It's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to go in a jury and be like, I'm sorry, part of my job is media. You could have easily did that, but instead you're on the run now from law officials.
I don't think you're on the run. I think they just remove you from the jury. I wonder if because like I'm on a list at the Meadowlands of like not being able to go there, if I like shouldn't be allowed on juries.
Yeah, but they still chose you for one here, and you neglected your right as a citizen.
That's not my right. It's my duty as a citizen.
Duty as a citizen.
The last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here. So one of the things I learned as I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with Chris DiStefano, first off, I didn't realize how many episodes Joe Rogan puts out on a weekly basis. Like it's no wonder this guy gets in trouble all the time for things he says. When you put out 3-hour episodes 3 times a week, you're going to say, we put out 3 Twitch shows for an hour every week, and we still say stupid shit. I can't imagine talking for 9 straight hours with comedians trying to be funny.
It's not always comedians.
It's oftentimes comedians. And
but
I know it's not always.
Doctors on it and stuff.
Either way. The one thing I learned, and it has nothing to do with like facts that Joe Rogan claims or anything like that. There's something that we need, Carla Marie. Okay? There's something that we need. And Joe Rogan, one of his producers, so they have, what I do like is they have like a great video set up for his podcast.
Whatever it is, our producer can get it for us.
So they have a producer who, when they mention things, right? Like you mentioned the Amber Heard, the alert thing, the Amber Alert. There's a producer who, as they say that, is like Googling it.
Scary Jones.
And putting it on the screen, and then they'll watch it. And be like, oh, this is right. Or the producer will fact check, because Chris DiStefano made a bunch of crazy, they talk about a lot of historical stuff on this specific episode of the Joe Rogan podcast. And one of the reasons I love Chris is he's fascinated with history. And he talks about some things that went on during colonial times. He talks about one of the theories, actually, as to why Catholics don't eat meat on certain Fridays.
Okay.
And the whole idea was that was never a thing around Jesus' time. It was never a thing during when Mark and all them wrote the Gospels. It was a pope at one point, or a high religious figure at one point, who happened to own a bunch of fish markets. And it was like, no, we shouldn't eat meat on these days. Now there's a theory, and there are some facts to prove that.
Right.
But what I loved was Chris said that, and he was like, I don't know, this is a wild thing. I heard it one time. I think it's true. And the producer, as Joe and Chris are talking, is looking it up, pulls it up, and reads the little blurb on whatever website he found. I was like, that's so great. You can say the wildest thing. Yeah, we have it for...
No, we have it because everyone in here will do that for us.
We have it as... Yes, we do actually give that responsibility to a lot of you on Twitch. But like for My Day Friday, for example, we don't have that. We just talk nonsense.
I find it.
But I love that. I think that's the first hire we have to make.
No, I
in
don't
EMH
think
Media.
that's the first hire we have to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we need a producer, a fact checker. And it's actually, if you know Tony Reale, who does Around the Horn on ESPN.
Yeah, that was
so
his
he
job.
used to be stat guy or stat boy, I think was his title, on Pardon the Interruption. So they would do their whole show.
We need a stat girl.
And they would, Mike Wilbon and Tony Reale not Tony Reale, Tony Kornheiser would yap at one another. And then at the very end of the show, they'd go to Tony Reale and say, all right, let's find out where we messed up. And he would critique some of the stats that they threw out there and stuff.
I forget what happened.
Yeah. It was a great way to round up the show, though, and close out the show.
Does Switch have copyright issues if you were to try to show a clip on the TV? No, we can.
Oh, you mean like physically show a clip here?
They would never really know that.
Yeah.
We've played clips of things on here. It's music that's going to have the most issue. We can't play the whole, like a whole show. We can't like legally stream, but like we played a clip of American Idol from like 2008 last week.
Yeah. Yeah, what was that guy's name? The Gloria guy? The guy who literally walked by people on the street
thinking about this
in New York and yelled illegals.
The other day I was like,
What
I
a
can't
wacko.
believe that we played that because we didn't know. / that was allowed to happen.
Yeah, that's not our fault.
I
We
know,
just
I know.
played a
I
clip.
I bet YouTube would. Oh, I wonder if we got banned from YouTube for playing that American Idol video.
I guess we'll have to check. They were probably like, no one cares about that video. It was 2006. When did we pull that video from? Something like that. It was like early. It was back when American Idol was mean to the people who were on American Idol. Like those first couple rounds where they just crapped on humans. Which, listen, I think we should go back to that. I think that is, a lot of people talk about like, oh, America's soft now. You can't say anything on TV. That is the one thing that I'd be like, we should be bringing that out. Bringing that back. What?
I just got a bunch of messages in our group chat with Ricky, Jake, Erica, and John.
Okay.
And Erica said, a year ago, we were live streaming. Actually, maybe a year ago yesterday, we were in Arizona.
Yeah.
Live streaming, the whole group from Erica's grandparents' house. And Ricky said, that would be so much more fun than what I'm doing right now. I'm at a remote, so she's doing like a live broadcast in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, and it's like 300 degrees. And my favorite thing is we all exaggerate, but whenever Ricky exaggerates, Jake just like comment on it and he goes, that's hot. And then Erica goes, 300? And she said something last night, like, last week, like, oh yeah, it's like 3,000 degrees. And then it's like windy and Jake's like, wow.
Oh, she said 3,000% humidity or something.
And Jake is like, wow, Tennessee's wild.
Let's see. Corinne said a podcast that I watch on YouTube was going over Met Gala outfits and people asked for them to show pictures and they said YouTube would flag it as a copyright. So that's a very specific thing with, it's actually the photographers
that would be Getty,
that will come after Getty photographers and whatever other photographers are there will come after channels like that very quickly right after events like the Met Gala, right after the VMAs and things like that. So because you're using their photos, which I understand that part of the photographers' right to their work. The thing that always irked me was photographers suing artists or athletes or celebrities for using pictures that the photographer took of them on a red carpet. It's like, you took a picture of me without me giving you permission to take that picture.
No, at a red carpet, that is your permission.
But even then, the only reason you're selling these pictures is because you're selling them of me. Like, it's a real weird world.
The world of social media kind of took that hold that photographers and paparazzi had over celebrities.
Yeah.
They've kind of just like reclaimed themselves back. I mean,
to a degree.
Yeah, but
because there's still, there are still there are still photographers who are like out there scouring the internet, suing celebrities for using their pictures.
No, what I'm saying is their photos don't hold as much weight anymore because a celebrity can take their own photos on their phone and post it.
Yeah.
And a lot, like I'd say more than half of the paparazzi photos that we see that aren't red carpet are planned by the celebrity.
Yeah, and I think what you'll see also is celebrities being much smarter about like, no one's going to see our baby until we are ready for the world to see our baby. No one's going to see our pregnant bellies or our engagement opportunity, whatever. All of those big life moments. people are being much smarter about A, controlling that narrative, and B, selling it on their own and saying, you know what, People Magazine, give us $700,000 and we'll do the exclusive first look in People Magazine. We'll hand you the photos.
And then we'll post the photos that People Magazine took on our own Instagram.
Yeah. Or that we took ourselves.
It's just...
It is pretty wild. It is the one thing that's been bothering me as we do the morning show podcast is I will look for entertainment news like throughout the day. That's the type of news that is hard for me to find for some reason. And a lot of it is like Kim Kardashian wears tube top. That's not news. That's not even entertainment news.
Okay, one that I saw the other day was Northwest, so Kim and Kanye's daughter, Northwest reaction to someone telling her she looked pretty is just so cute. And I'm like, what is this? So it's a whole freaking article. And it goes back to Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian's wedding in Italy. And North is walking on a dock. And like a paparazzi's like, North, you look so pretty. And I'm like, okay, what is this reaction? Because they built it up like she was going to be like, oh my God, thank you so much. And she was like, thank you. And like turned around like any 8-year-old would do. Yeah. And I was like, fuck you, I'm not clicking these articles anymore. There
are articles that I get caught up in where like I think it's something that's going to be significant in the political space or something like that. And it's just some dweeb taking a tweet and writing a whole story about it. And it's like, I just got 300 words into this, realizing there was nothing here. Not 300 words is a lot, but still. Let's see. Yeah, it's all non-content, which is real annoying. Let's see. Rich Feltz, I was just at the billboards in Vegas. I was outside the fenced off area around the red carpet. They kicked us out and said this isn't a viewing area because we all had cameras trying to get pics. Yeah. All those photographers are trying to save, and I get it. That's their bread and butter. That's their job. Being on a red carpet is wild, though. Have you done which red carpets have you done?
What movie was it? It was a Twilight. It was a Twilight. Robert Pattinson was in it, but I don't know if it was Twilight. What else? Mandela with U2.
Oh, is that where you lost all the interviews?
Yeah.
This is a great story.
Didn't
you talk to Bono? No, who'd you talk to?
All of U2.
Who else?
Idris Elba. It was just audio though.
But you didn't actually record anything.
None of it.
You just talked to them like a weirdo. So I did the VMA red carpet one year when it was in Brooklyn.
I went last minute because they needed someone, and the person who taught me how to do it admitted the next day saying, oh my God, this was the other recorder. I told you how to do it wrong.
Well, that stinks.
What?
So I did what?
Derek Jeter is officially on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you, Lisa. Why do I keep accidentally posting things to my...
What'd you post?
I keep accidentally posting things to my close friends.
Oh, only to your close friends? So, as Carla Marie checks out to see if Derek Jeter is on Twitter and Instagram, which I don't know why you need to do that now, but
I love Jeter. He's my favorite.
I was at the VMAs, the MTV VMAs when it was in Brooklyn. It was actually the same year that NSYNC came back for 30 seconds. And I was responsible for taking video for Z100 in New York City and for Power 105.1. And it was Garrett doing the Z100 interviews, Angela Yee doing the Power 105.1 interviews. And that was the first time I was on a big time red carpet. I had done other red carpets for movie premieres, but they're a little more subdued because there's a limited amount of stars coming through and you're probably going to get your time with them. But for something like the VMAs where there's just hundreds of stars coming through and you might not get time with them.
No, it's chaos.
There's a photo pit, right? So you first walk through and there's your big photo pit. And every photographer for every publication is trying to get their shot, right? Their big shot that's going to be on the front page or the whatever.
Oh, just posted it.
The things that they yell.
Yeah. It's so annoying. The audio of red carpets is the most annoying audio you can listen to.
Because there's sometimes they'll say, oh, Jennifer, look this way. Jennifer, look that way. Jennifer. But then it'll be you'll have someone's pop that butt out, girl. And then they'll start yelling actual rude things just to get their attention. And it's wild. And we were right after the photo pit. So it was photo pit. There was maybe 3 feet to just decompress. And then us. And this is where my empathy for celebrities kind of came from. Was Ariana Grande used to get a lot of crap for not being the most personable in interviews.
Yes.
Like, she came into Elvis's studio and actually did not do a very good job in her first ever Elvis interview. She got better, obviously, but she was like a kid. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, there were two things that kind of framed my viewpoint in terms of empathy for celebrities. And it was both her. One was I filmed her interview with Elvis. And when you, back in the day, and still till today, when you go into Elvis's studio, there's a lot going on. Not only are you trying as
57 people interviewing
as a guest, you're trying to look at Elvis, and there's two producers behind him. There's a producer to your left. There's questions coming at you from
Danielle,
different areas that you're not looking at, and there's usually like 3 or 4 photographers and videographers. They're in there, as well as like your label or whoever else. Sometimes that room can be packed with like 15 to 20 people, and they're all
watching.
Eyes are on you.
It's all your quotes that they care about.
So I was one of those video people with Elvis and Ariana Grande, and she was not great. She wasn't bad. It was just like kind of a weird, subdued interview. Then we had to do an interview that was going to be used on a different station. It was me, Garrett, and Ariana Grande. We went to another studio at Light FM, just the 3 of us. And it was wildly different. Like, you could tell that she felt more comfortable because there was only one camera. There weren't people moving behind her and hand signaling and
I would be like, get out,
all of that. So she was totally different. I was like, oh, wow, I wonder if she just got freaked out because that was like her first, and it was really one of her first huge interviews like that. Then a couple weeks later was when she was on the red carpet at the VMAs. And I'll never forget this. She walked through the photo pit, and there's, like I said, people screaming your name, people yelling things, flashes going off.
They should walk it like just backwards, just show the back.
And in that couple feet between the photo booth or the photo pit and the video pit, her security kind of like surrounded her. She faced the back wall, which I believe was like a fake brick. Mm-hmm. And I literally, because I was standing on the red carpet, so I was one of the only people that saw this. She's like doing breathing exercises to like bring herself back down. Mm-hmm. And you could just tell and she talked about it later on, like terrible social anxiety. And being put in a situation like that, where people are screaming your name and expect you to be like perfect and beautiful and on point all the time, that's where my empathy for like celebrities, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, because she sat there for like 30 seconds, composed herself, and then
and she was a kid.
She turned on her brave face, came right over to Garrett, did the interview, and she was phenomenal. And she had probably had training at that point and gotten used to it, but it was wild seeing kind of what they go through. Mm-hmm. Even think about the stuff they do at like something like the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Say, we were doing the Snapchat, and we had the photographers on the red carpet, the step and repeat, do to me what they would normally do. We took a video of it, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know where to look. You're all screaming at me. You guys are intense.
And they get ran from one place to another. So like at something like the iHeart Festival, they come in, they do the red carpet, then they go do a social stop, then they go do an interview with someone like Elvis or Bobby or Ryan Seacrest.
Then there's like branded, like a company that has their like freaking, I don't know, Snapple bottle. You got to go sit inside. Then there's another interview. Then there's puppies to play with. It's like.
And then you finally have to go on stage. You have to actually do your job after all of that. Who is the person that you saw backstage walking with her shoes? You like loved her. She was clearly having a bad day.
Something happened on stage. I missed her. She was just announcing something on stage. And I think she may have messed up. I don't know what it was. And I was like, I got to find her. And she came off stage, and she had, by the time I got to her, I was like, oh my God, nice to meet you. I realized she had like tears in her eyes. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened between the stage moment and whatever, but she was just walking with her shoes off.
And she still was very nice to you.
Yeah. And I was like, listen, the only reason I, at the time, kept cable is because your new show was coming out. And she was like, oh my God, that's so nice.
And that's why there was a time in my life where I would see something like, Kanye West smashing a photographer's camera and being like,
Britney Spears.
Being like, oh, well, you're a celebrity. That's just what you have to deal with. And then you realize, like, no, that person was just at the airport and someone said and normally it starts with a photographer saying some rude ass shit to get a reaction.
Yep.
Like, hey, your wife's sleeping with someone else. How do you feel? It's like, I'm going to break your camera. That's how I feel.
I would definitely snap. I would 100% snap.
Oh, let's see.
So
Scotty,
they're talking about Ariana Grande squinting. She's always squinted.
Oh, maybe she is nearsighted.
I squint a lot.
I squint trying to read the screen.
I know.
I need to make the font. We're getting old enough where I need to just start making the font really big on things, like the size of the CMA behind us. Just one word on the screen at all times.
When I like pick up someone else's phone where they're like, read this, and the text is so big, I'm like,
yeah.
I put it even smaller on mine because I want to like make my eyes, work for it.
I've thought of that. Do you think that actually works, or is it worse?
I think it makes it worse.
Because I think of that too. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to like weight train my eyes,
And
right?
no,
I need to be a
actually
meathead.
Makes it worse.
I'm going to be a meathead with my eyesight.
Yeah.
Let's see. That reminds me of the theory about Leah Michelle. I don't know what the theory about. Do you know the theory about Leah Michelle?
I don't.
I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out. Let's see. I've always seen videos of Hillary Duff yelling at paparazzi or taking pictures of her kids.
All of them yell at them.
Yeah.
Like they'll go on social media and be like, do you think it's okay to take photos of an 8-year-old child and sell them?
I wonder, there's got to be something done like to the public. I think what you have to start is you're not going to monitor or restrict. What are we doing here? What's yes? Why'd you just say yes?
Declare.
Oh. You're not going to necessarily regulate the photographers, because if there's a market for them, they're always going to go out and take their picture. I think what you've got to do is regulate the publications and say, without express written consent from the parents,
like
on every photo,
think about this. When anything happens in a school, right? Like sometimes like, oh, it's a school play today, or like whatever. I remember we used to have to sign everything that was like, someone from here is going to be filming. If you don't want to be filmed, then like your kid can't be in, like whatever it is.
But I think that's what needs to be done with like these publications is you cannot like post a celebrity child or something without express written consent from the parents on every photo. Yeah. Like just because I said, oh yeah, you can use this picture of my kid 3 months ago doesn't mean today you can use a different picture of my kid. And I can't imagine, because if I was a celebrity parent and there was just some stranger, generally speaking, a strange man coming up to my child with a camera, you'd be seeing me rock bottom people in the middle of the street.
Kristen Cavallari doesn't like her kids. I've never seen what they look like.
Yeah, you brought up a good point.
But she will take photos with them where she's like hugging them and you only see from behind. I'm like, and people are like, why even post them if you're not going to show their faces? And it's like, what?
Yeah, there's God, who was it? You actually brought it up. Oh. Ed Sheeran apparently just had like another baby, and you were the one that brought up like, see, it's actually not that hard if a celebrity doesn't want to be photographed all the time, because Ed Sheeran's like a prime example.
Like, so it just came out, Ed Sheeran had a baby, and I was like, what? Yeah. And granted, he's not right. He wasn't pregnant. They live in a castle that's hundreds and thousands of acres.
Yeah, they live in like a hobbit house in England somewhere.
He's got bars and all the things you need there.
Yeah,
but. That was I said, see, it's not that hard to not be photographed and be in the public eye.
There are a lot of celebrities who usually they're like later on in their careers. So they're coming at it from a different vantage point, right? Like when you're more successful, you can get away with doing more things. And you have a little more control. But a lot of them are just like, hey, if you don't want to be in the paparazzi's eyes, just don't live in New York or LA.
Right. Like
don't go to the Grove in Los Angeles.
We're in market number 12. I haven't seen a single photographer, but I've seen not that I've only seen Megan Rapinoe at the airport here.
I saw, and she's in the news now. The only
Bill Clinton. We saw him at the airport.
I missed it. I didn't actually see him. I know he was there. I didn't see him. I saw, and it's unfortunate because she's in the news now. Brittany Griner. Griner I saw at the airport when I was in Phoenix when I was going to Grand Canyon with my family. And spotting a women's basketball player, it's got to be like the easiest thing in the world. Because, I mean, Brittany Griner specifically is like 6'10". She stands out in any crowd. Yeah. Even in an NBA crowd, she would stand out.
I want to call the local paparazzi. Maybe I'll call Stranger, Seattle Times.
They're not going to care.
Carla Marie and Anthony are heading to the airport on this day. But how funny would it be if we just set a thing off with just I think in all airports that Seattle would be the funniest because that never happens here. And just to see how people would react and be like, who are they? Which is what I'm concerned is going to happen in Disney. I've talked about this.
No, it's not going to happen.
It is. So we're going to Disney World at the end of the month in June. So We'll be in Disney in 3
Are you
weeks.
trying right now? Are you trying to get paparazzi there?
No, not paparazzi.
Oh.
So we'll be there in 3 weeks. We're doing the thing where you cut the line, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing like one of two things happening. There's going to be, and we're going to be wearing our You Look Great shirts a lot. So people are going to be like, oh, these people cut the line. Like, who are they? Let me look up these stupid shirts. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to buy them.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if there's a chance that like literally anyone who listens to our show or Elvis' show recognizes us, they're going to be like, oh my God, Carla Marie just cut me in line. Screw her. Or hi. And then it's going to turn into who? Or Anthony. Worst Anthony.
I don't think anyone's going to care.
I think we're going to have at least one of each. People are going to be like, who are they? I'm going to wear my sunglasses the whole time so we look famous.
Listen, I'll just start rock bottoming people. I'm going to read the rock book again before we go there. It will be super hot. I am not looking forward to the amount of sweat that is going to be dripping from me in the Florida late July heat or late June heat.
I got my Mega Babe. I'm going to rub it all over my thighs.
Wow, we've been on this for 90 minutes now.
It's okay.
Well, we made up for not being here yesterday, I guess. Thank you to everyone who helped us get through Hype Train Level 5. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Technically, we could do it again, but we're not. So, because
Derek Jeter is on Twitter and Instagram. I might talk about this in the Morning Show podcast.
Who cares?
His bio: sleep-deprived father to 3 amazing girls. I didn't know there were 3. And then Hall of Fame
He's
class.
had 3 kids already?
Hall of Fame class of 2020. Unless he's saying like he's a daddy also to his wife.
I mean, there's a considerable age difference there.
Oh, she's so hot.
Hannah Davis?
I think I'd rather sleep with her than him.
I think 90% of the people in the world would say the same thing.
Although I have loved Derek Jeter for most of my life.
Yeah, but it's not, I mean.
He gained 4,000 followers since I was sitting here.
The rest say 4,000 pounds. I really thought that's where you're going. I was like, wow, she's about to really roast Derek Jeter here.
No, he didn't. Okay, quick update. Yes, bingo is tomorrow. Please get in touch if you haven't received your bingo boards. We'll work something out. Bingo's tomorrow night, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 East Coast time. Prizes include the Rainbow Beach Waiver and a Young Nails Studio nail kit.
It's going to be a really good time. So
you
even
don't
if you
win
didn't buy a
both.
kit, you can still hang out with us.
Yeah.
We are going to have a drink that you can prepare and enjoy responsibly on your own.
And your info for getting in, and obviously most of you know, but if people who don't normally use Twitch signed up, all of that will be sent out tomorrow.
Corin Spokane said, what are we drinking tomorrow for bingo?
Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire.
And we'll explain the actual drink in an email tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll try to get it out tonight so you can get all your ingredients. Yes.
Right here on Twitch.
Yeah, it'll be right here on Twitch. And I did see a few messages asking how the cats were.
Oh, the droolers.
So Max had her.
I thought we were saying goodbye.
We are, but I got to answer. Max had her vomiting a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Got better. 3 days after Max got better, John started just drooling everywhere. And the overall consensus from the internet was, oh, my cat drools. The vet said it just means they're happy. And I was like, that's weird. But it went on for like 4 days. And I was like, this happened out of nowhere. So I take him to the vet and I bring up that theory to the vet. And I was like, my concern is that he's been sad for a whole year. And he was like, no, like clearly something's going on. We don't know what it is, but it seems like he's getting better. That was the last day John drooled. Friday. I wake up Saturday morning. Max is drooling. Puddles for 2 days. Worse than John. Snotting out of her nose. And I'm like, what the F? I wake up yesterday morning. Max's drool is going away. Erica starts drooling. But Sunday, I cleaned the whole house because I was like, all right, clearly, like, someone's like, maybe it's pesticides. Do you have no plants, no essential oils, no new candles, no new soaps, like nothing. It's not COVID because neither of us had COVID. I had been testing because I thought that's what it was. I think Max got a bug when she was at the vet when they boarded her for the day.
It's possible.
And she passed it. Everyone is dry today.
Everyone's dry? Oh, no drool.
And of course, this is the first day the vet's been open in 3 days. So yeah, they just had a cold. They're okay. Like they've been eating fine, running around fine, attacking me fine.
Should they be attacking you?
Erica and John have each hooked their nails into my hand at one point over the weekend.
All right, it is time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Carla Brandt, any last words? Nothing?
I'm thinking. Go listen to the Morning Show podcast. Oh, yes. We're giving away gift cards to my brother's restaurant, Sinner's Steakhouse in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. But you have to play in the Morning Show podcast, one of the games. Sign up solo because obviously if you play with like a significant other, you're both gonna win technically then.
Mhm.
So you sign up solo. The link is in the description of today's episode. You can go check it out. Okay, bye.
Peace out. You look great.